Well, it's a big show.
You must dig my dig in the mashed potatoes. Go hog.
This is a team sport. It's not a talent-based sport.
We got Bobby fucking Petrino back. If I'm honest with myself right now, it's a cool 12-0. Oh, look at that tornado.
That's right, folks. We are here. This is the College Football Tailgate. Big show. As always, it is me, XFL Jim, joined by Chase, a.k.a. the Wolf of Oaklawn, and Eric, a.k.a. Uncle Rico. What is up, boys?
What's up?
We got sports facts.
Living the dream.
Chase, he's looking at the same room where you were.
Yeah, so me and Jim were talking about this earlier. I saw something very early this morning, technically, that said that Gundy went ahead and bowed out because he wasn't going to accept the contract. Then I also just saw something that said they're at a stalemate. So I have no idea what's going on at Oklahoma State.
It's a standoff. It's an old-timey, old Western standoff with Mike Gundy and the brass OK State.
I mean, when stuff like that happens, like, okay, what's the alternative? Will it be better with someone else? He won. When you look at, like, I was reading this on X or Twitter, whatever the hell it's called.
X, the everything app.
He's won more. He's won a more of a percentage of the games in the program's history than I think than any other coach.
Yeah, he has to be their best coach ever, right?
Like, who are you going to after that? Like, are you sitting back and like, oh, let's get Joe Smo Pa. He can do it. You know what I mean? Like, who are you going to?
I don't know, man. You maybe you ride with Gundy again. You got Adam Bowman back. Let's just
Adam Bowman back for season 8.
Ready to set things right.
Adam Bowman.
I mean, I don't know. He probably has to take the restructuring though.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting though, the fact that if he doesn't take the restructuring, they can fire him for cause and not have to pay the buyout. And it could be like, is this this could change a lot of shit in college football with how coaches are hired and fired if you can take buyouts off the table like this.
Well, from what I read is like, oh, if he doesn't take it, I don't know if they can fire him with cause for not taking the contract, but they might have a reason to fire him with cause that they're kind of like setting behind the offer.
Right. Because, I mean, it would change some shit if you can manage to get around these buyouts in college football. You could really see coaches start jumping around like crazy.
You would see things go insane. Bobby Thomas also chiming in. MSU big over Nebraska today in hoops.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, Michigan State they're good this year.
They're legit.
They're legit good. They're legit good.
I'm excited for it. Do we want to use that transition that we're going to be probably coming to the college basketball season soon? And let people know to like, hey, soon, people, in the next few weeks, college basketball, we're going to, the college basketball tailgate will be coming.
Gym rats,
baby. We're going to be hitting it. But we have some games to get to first, some football games. I want to start kind of going over the ones that happened yesterday. We had Jayville State big over Western Kentucky, Army big over Tulane, and Boise State pretty decently sized over UNLV. Any surprises or takeaways? Chase, congratulations on your Sun Belt, on your CUSA future for Jacksonville State. They beat my future of Western Kentucky.
Thank you. I don't even remember what price I got on it at this point. That was a surprise. That was an ass whooping right there.
Yeah, they got up and just never left him.
Yeah.
Eric, did you have some takes on UNLV?
I mean, Jesus Christ, dude.
Chest?
I don't understand. Third quarter, you're struggling. You need to put something on the board. it's 4th and goal from the 10. Your offense has been dog shit. Why not just as a little morale booster, because it's so early in the third, hey guys, you know what? We're just going to kick the 3 here. We're just going to kick the fucking 3, give ourselves a little 3 points here and just go with it. They have no quarterback, dude. They literally, when push came to shove and they needed to push the ball down the field, Williams just couldn't do it at all. And it's going to kind of be like, when you compare this to college basketball with what potentially could happen with Boise State getting a bye, this is like like Norfolk State in the NCAA tournament getting a bye in the first round.
Right.
I mean, like, they're seriously going to have to take a step back and look at it, because Boise State should not be getting a bye. With how it shapes up now, if you, like, hypothetically, if you're Oregon, you're going to drop, if you lose to Penn State today, you're going to drop down to the 5 line. Would you rather drop down to the 5 line and play like an Arizona State and an Iowa State than a Boise State? Or would you rather have the bye than probably play Georgia next round?
Well, I don't think they would play Georgia, would they? As the 1 seed?
I mean, I'm just throwing out a team, dude. Like,
Sure.
But you gotta. I think you usually want the bye because you don't want to risk injury with football.
Then you run into rest versus rust, though. You know.
I mean, maybe.
so like right now, how it's shaped up, and I just went on NCAA.com. Would you rather go Arizona State and then a Boise State, or would you rather have the bye and play the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee?
Yeah. So then, how do you award the bye at that point? If you,
I think it should just be the top 4 teams based on
Just-
rankings.
just screw.
I mean,
conference champion.
you can have the thing where conference champions auto get in, but the bye should just be based on the top 4 teams. If it
So
happens,
the seed, like the conference champions get in, but the seeding itself should just be
yeah,
like whatever the rankings are.
yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, to me, that seems the most fair way to do it. Or you make it where the top 2 teams get it, and then you put 2 more teams in it.
Do like a 14-teamer?
Yeah, and the top 2 teams get a bye.
I wouldn't mind that.
I think the whole thing should just be every team in the country, and it's like a survivor pool. As soon as you lose, your football season is completely over. If you win, you get the right to play the next week.
The only team that won, then we only have Oregon's already won. Congratulations to the Ducks.
Yeah, let's wrap this shit up. We got it. It's done.
I like that, Chase. That's expedited.
And then also, like, think of all the garbage teams that will lose week 1 that we'll never have to watch again.
That's a good point.
Yeah, let's Hunger Games this shit, guys.
Also,
like you,
shout out
Devin.
Army for only having 1 loss on the entire season.
They could win 13 games this year.
Yes, they can.
14. Wait, 14, right?
This was number
No,
13.
13.
No, yeah, sorry, this was number 12 because they played this before. Yep. Now, looking forward, we have a 6-game slate of conference championships before us today. Let's start with the Big 12, Iowa State, Arizona State. This one's been kind of like moving. Didn't Arizona State open up as a favorite, if I remember right?
I think so. It was a pick 'em for a little bit. It moved to Iowa State minus the half point, and now it's minus one now.
Yeah, it's -1 right now. Over under 50.5. Minus 108 for Arizona State on the money line. I'm excited for this one. I'm just excited for all Big 12-ness. The season's been great. I wanted to bet Iowa State here, but I already have a future on them. I'm not touching. I didn't touch.
I touched. I'm on Iowa State on the money line. I made this decision whenever it was a little bit closer, more of a pick 'em. So I'm not as crazy about it. If you're trying to get value on the money line right now, I don't know. I feel like this Arizona State team hasn't necessarily really played anyone. I guess you could probably say the same thing for Iowa State. I know I have a little bit more trust in their quarterback. Plus, Arizona State is missing a wide receiver who got the majority of the target share for Arizona State. That's going to be a big hole to fill. So I think Iowa State gets the job done today.
I think Iowa State also could do a good job of, like, I've seen a few of their games this season. They do a good job of, like, mucking games up, and that defense is probably the best defense in the conference. Rocco Beck can make some things happen. I like what Iowa State has weird-wise here.
Yeah, I got Iowa State. I got it too. I got it yesterday at 2. I would just play the money line right now. Chase was touching at it. Tyson not being there for Arizona State is a huge loss. He was their chain mover. He was their leading wide receiver on third down. This is going to allow Iowa State to crowd the box against Arizona State to take away their running game. ASU special teams, it's been a roller coaster this year. They don't have a dependable field goal kicker, and in a close game like this, it could come down to special teams. And when your special teams is weak, obviously you look to take the team with a little bit better special teams. Also, what's their hangover? That BYU ending was one of the craziest endings in the world. Emotionally, how are these 18 to 22-year-olds handling that ending? I kind of feel there's a lot more pressure on Arizona State in this situation than Iowa State. Also, I know people are making a big deal about this Iowa State run defense. I was reading this article earlier in the week, and it said that Arizona State runs wide zone most of the time, and that's statistically the best that Iowa State was defending the run was wide zone. So it could be a good matchup. I don't think that Arizona State has the DBs to combat back in this Iowa State passing game. So I got him at +2. I'd play with where it's at right now. I just paid the money line.
I'm sitting at Iowa State future +950, so I'm just going to roll with that.
He's going to
feeling
light
good.
the cigarette, cheer on Maddie Campbell.
Damn right, son. And also, selfishly, with Rocco Beckley in the front, I feel like a win for Iowa State is a win for the XFL.
That's fair. By the transitive property, I suppose, and with the way that names work, I guess that works.
It's his son. Is it his son? Or is his, yeah, it's his son. Yeah.
It's his son.
It's his son.
Yeah.
In the MAC, we have Ohio versus Miami of Ohio, the two best teams in the state of Ohio. Miami is a 2.5-point favorite here, over under 44 +110 on the money line for the Bobcats. Chase.
Traditionally, when I get a money line dog within a field goal spread, especially at home, I typically jump on the money line. They're at a neutral field, so I'm going to jump on the money line still here, even though they're not at home. I'm taking Ohio on the money line +115. Listen, if you think I'm going to bet the chalk in a Maction final, you're out of your mind. I want crazy Maction. I want Ohio to win. It's close enough in the spread that I'm taking the shot with the dog +money.
Ohio. I think this would be their first MAC championship of the century, maybe?
Correct. They have not won one. As crazy as it sounds, they're just going to look to run the ball. If you can stop the ball, running the ball with them, you are pretty good. But when you look at Jesus Christ, what they lost. Do you guys remember when we did our MAC preview and we were talking about how much they lost and them to be in the MAC championship game? Prop their coach. Maybe Oklahoma State will hire him. But I got nothing.
Purdue.
Did Purdue fire their coach?
I think they had to have, right?
Wasn't this his first year, or is it a second year?
Second year.
He might be gone.
They fired him.
He gone.
The storyline is great. Eric, also, I feel like you don't talk enough about the Miami head coach, who I feel like is someone that you should be in love with.
Yeah, he had that run at Grand Valley State, has those Michigan ties. Now he's coming here, winning at Miami. He seems to me like he's going to move up.
Every clip I've heard him speak, I'm like, oh yeah, Eric can get behind this guy.
Yeah, he's an Uncle Rico type of guy.
3 p.m. the SEC rematch between Georgia and Texas. Texas is a 3-point favorite in this one, over under 50.5 +120 on the money line. Chase, I'm going to defer to you because when it comes to SEC, specifically Georgia games, I feel like you have it.
Thank you for tooting my horn, because I was going to toot my horn personally that I am infallible whenever it comes to SEC championship games over the last, 4 years now. I'm taking Georgia on the money line. plus 125. Look, Georgia does work whenever they're playing in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, or as I like to call it, the Big Chrome Butthole. I think that the Texas offense has kind of sputtered a little bit down the stretch outside of a big win against Kentucky, which who was going to, not beat Kentucky by 1,000,000 points this year? They're worst team in the SEC. So I think that Georgia, they have a little bit of the home advantage playing in Atlanta. This crowd will probably be 70-30. I think the Georgia defense gets after Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning, whoever they manage to trot out, because it seems like it's always a question right now. I think another way to play this might be maybe like parlaying together like Georgia, Texas first half, Georgia money line, something like that. Because I could, Carson Beck tends to only play one half of football, but I still think I get the job done. I'm playing it on the money line plus 125.
I rolled with this one too. I got it at plus 130. I like Georgia money line. Texas, they're playing better, and I do trust Sark. I don't hate the over too. Let's make some money. 6-9 in the chat was saying. I think we're going to see some points fly in this game. When I see SEC championship game, I can't help but go Georgia.
Georgia, them Bulldogs.
Also chiming in, Georgia has not covered a first quarter all year.
I could completely understand. Georgia, they've been tending to only play one half of football at a time.
They're so up and down. They're so inconsistent.
I don't hate that take of splitting this game into two halves and playing it that way.
At 6:30 tonight, we have the Sun Belt Marshall versus Louisiana. The Cajuns are 5.5-point favorites here, over under 58 plus 160 on the money line for the Thundering Herd. I am upset that the Thundering Herd got the win last week and this wasn't Georgia Southern, so I could just be laying on another future. Damn it. But either way, fun
would have been
game.
nice.
I'm on the Cajuns here. I think they roll. I think Marshall has shown bits and pieces throughout the season, but I think Louisiana's been like the poster of consistency in the Sun Belt. And I think they just dominate here. I think this is I think this is the closest we have to like a dominant performance all day.
So hypothetically question. Let's say you're a coach, you lead your team unexpectedly to the conference championship. You want to come back, but your team doesn't want you to have come back. And now you're in talks with Southern Miss to become their new head coach. Where's your focus at as a coach?
All over the place.
No, I mean, seriously, Huff wants to come back. Marshall, for whatever reason, doesn't want him to come back. He overachieved this year. He got him into the conference championship. All these rumors about him and Southern Miss. What's the focus level here as? I think Marshall could get just completely boat raced, and I think Marshall's should be a fade in the bowl game as well.
Did Brett Favre get more welfare money? Why do you want to go to Southern Miss?
He might have.
I mean, shook loose some more federal welfare money to pay for shit at Southern Miss.
I love it every time he tweets something out and then someone comes back like, hey, remember that time you stole from welfare?
Yeah. Just grifted the people of Mississippi to build a fucking volleyball stadium for your daughter's team. What is it about Green Bay quarterbacks and just like grade A douche nozzle behavior after they leave the game? I don't understand it.
Maybe it's the Packers organization. It could just be like that color.
Yeah. So Jimbo, I'm on the opposite side of this one from you. I took Marshall. I got it earlier at +6. It's actually moving Marshall's way at 5.5 now. I just think the number's too big. I think that UL wins. I just think the number is a little bit too big and they can keep it within a touchdown. They both have been putting it on teams. I don't know. I think that making this line this big is really kind of begging you to take Marshall a little bit. So I'm on them.
It does feel that way a little bit. Big Ten, Penn State, Oregon. Oregon is a 3.5-point favorite here, over under 50.5 plus 140 on the money line for the Nittany Lions. This is Penn State's first time in the Big Ten championship since the split east to west, right?
Yep.
I think so. Damn.
Yep. So I did it. I took Penn State plus 3.5. I said it
Jim
earlier.
Franklin, baby.
I said it earlier. I really think Oregon would be better off losing this game. When you look at it, their path would be a little bit easier. Both teams are in the college football playoff, even if they lose. So there's no pressure on Franklin here. If this was a win and you're in, I'd literally have no faith in Franklin whatsoever. The fact both these teams can lose and they're in, I think that actually favors Penn State. Oregon really does struggle defending the run. I think this is going to be a huge game for Singleton. I think they're going to really lean on him in the running game. Penn State is really good against the run. It all comes down to how you beat them is throwing the ball down the field. Do we really trust Dylan Gabriel to be able to do that? Also, Penn State can get after the quarterback per PFF. Gabriel does struggle when facing pressure. I think this is going to be a close game. I think this is going to come down to a late second field goal. I'll take Penn State here plus the 3.5.
I am also on Penn State plus 3.5 for just the sole factor. And I don't know if it's necessarily a James Franklin and big game situation or if it's just James Franklin versus Michigan and Ohio State situation. And I'm thinking maybe this is where he shakes the monkey off his back, gets a Big Ten championship win while still losing to Ohio State and having that weird season.
But I will say this, though. I do have Penn State here plus 500, I think, to win the Big Ten. So if this gets to like somehow like an Oregon plus 200 live, I'll do a small bet on that as a little bit of a hedge.
Eric is team hedge. I am team never hedge. It's fine. That's cool.
I'm against you guys. I'm going Oregon and I'm taking a minus 3.5 here. Listen, I do think the pressure is on James Franklin, and I think James Franklin pisses all down his leg. Penn State, listen, they want a Big Ten championship. What have they been just missing over the last few years? Is a Big Ten championship. And then you're playing against a non-legacy Big Ten team. You don't want to be the team that lets Oregon walk in and win the conference in the first year. I think the moment's too big for James Franklin. I think Oregon just all they might not be way better, but I think they're way better coached. So I'm taking Oregon minus the 3.5, even though they're crossing the Rockies.
Chase is on team LDE. little dick energy for Dan Lanning.
It's small dick energy.
Oh,
SDE.
sorry, you're right. It was SDE. Also at 7, the ACC, Clemson, SMU. Clemson sneaks their way back into the ACC championship game. SMU is a 2.5-point favorite, over under 55.5, plus 114 on the money line. I'm sitting on a Clemson future, but I hate it. I don't think this team. I feel like every good team Clemson has played, they have lost.
Yeah.
So is SMU.
I think SMU is a good team.
I think SMU sucks. I did Clemson here plus 2.5. When you look at it, who really has SMU played? My plan here, and I've been saying it, I'm going to take Clemson here against Miami. I'm going to take them here against SMU. The way to beat Clemson is you got to take advantage of their middle of the field and the pass defense. I think this is where SMU is really going to miss Maryland, who's out for the season. SMU really struggles on defending deep balls. Kubnik can air it out. He's going to be throwing the ball deep. He's going to take advantage of these secondary guys in SMU. Another key thing is Clemson's offensive line is finally healthy. They've been banged up all season. I think they're going to be able to give Kubik time. I think he's going to be able to take advantage of the secondary. And the game's in Charlotte. You know, you're talking about it earlier. This is going to be a de facto home game for Clemson. I think it's going to, factor them. I got Clemson here. I got it at 2.5.
I didn't bet this one. I like SMU though. I like SMU. I'm
taking SMU minus the 2.5. Listen, I don't even think that it's whenever Clemson runs into a good team that they've lost. I think it's whenever Clemson runs into just a slightly above average team that they're losing, because I wouldn't think of anybody that's beat them as necessarily just world beaters by any means. And I think that I've been saying it over and over again, paper tiger. I don't think that they're very good. And I think that SMU can outscore them. I think Cade Klubnik is fucking suspect. So I am all over SMU. I am here for the demise of Clemson. I think they covered the 2.5. Rhett Lashley puts up a ton of points.
If SMU loses, are they out of the playoff?
Yes.
Who gets
Probably.
Clemson. I think whoever wins this game is in.
I know. Well, Clemson's in automatically if they win.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think whoever wins this game
that
gets
has to shake up an at-large bid, though, right?
I think it's Alabama, probably.
And I think they give it to Bama just because Bama.
Yeah, I mean, I have an Ole Miss future, and I would love it to be Ole Miss, but I think I think that loss to Florida, you can't have a team that lost to Florida and Kentucky in the.
Yeah, you can have one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I think the team that's kind of getting shafted is South Carolina.
They shouldn't have lost to Alabama.
Yeah.
Question for Chase. Any carryovers today, and then also round robins. We're coming up with the round robins. They're coming right now. Don't you worry.
Yeah. I just checked for let's make some money 69 here, and there are no carryovers today. It seems that everything that's carryover is a jackpot bet, not worth playing.
If you want my real round robin, I did make a parlay for every game, just straight money line.
If there's a younger kid,
But the real one is going to be Georgia plus 130. I'll do Penn State plus 145, and I'll do Clemson plus 115. Just a cheeky little three-teamer.
A cheeky little
three-teamer.
So I think I cheated here. Mine is a cross-sport round robin.
Oh,
Is that allowed? Am I going to get?
We'll allow it.
I did Iowa State, Clemson, and Penn State in the pigskin. And then for college basketball, I added Middle Tennessee State and Miami.
Always nice when you get to dabble on the Blue Raiders? Is that Middle Tennessee?
Blue Raiders, dude. Playing
Raiders.
Coming off a emotional overtime win against Illinois State.
It's the kind of shit I like to see, Uncle Rico.
Chase, what are you rolling with?
I'm going to go with my we're moneyline dogs. One moneyline favorite, two moneyline dogs, and a spread. It's going to be Iowa State moneyline, Ohio moneyline, Georgia moneyline, and I'm taking SMU to cover the 2.5 in my round robin.
I like it. I quite like it. I'm also doing a disgusting teaser. One last one for the people.
Yes.
Game, 6.
As long as there's no goddamn basketball teasers, dude. I mean,
I'll have to find something else gross to do for college basketball. We're teasing Louisiana Lafayette down to +0.5, basically a pick 'em. We're teasing Iowa State to +5, Georgia to +9, Clemson to +8.5, Penn State to +9.5, and Ohio +8.5. That total gets you a +700 teaser.
Jesus, dude.
It's gross. I gotta find something to do for college basketball. Gross to do.
What do you get when you just parlay all your stuff together straight, non-teased? Out of curiosity,
just like on the spreads.
Well, on your spreads, like however you're playing it.
Well, if instead of teasing it, I would have to do just the straight up spread. So it'd be Iowa State -1, Ohio +2.5, Georgia +3, ULL -5.5, Clemson +2.5, and Penn State +3.5. That gets you plus it's 51-1.
Okay. Are you going to put in that lotto ticket?
Put a little cheeky bit on it. It's fine.
Two will get you 100.
Yeah, put a little bit on her. All right, boys. This is basically like the last full slate of college football. Robbie Thetford coming in, hook 'em. Horns down all day here.
Wrong chat, buddy.
We're a horns down show, a family show. Please keep that profanity out of here. Any parting takes, boys, before we get out?
Portal's going to be crazy.
Portal's been crazy.
Porter's going to be crazy. I'm looking forward to it. Bowl season's right around the corner. I already have my list of teams I'm looking to fade and looking to attack. And hopefully, somehow, some way, my Ole Miss future makes it in. I have no idea how, but
Just clinging clinging to that
Hey,
hope.
they-
Like I got Georgia at like 9-1 when they like lost to somebody. I forget where it was when they had they got their second loss. I was able to sneak out Georgia at 9-1, so I got one team in. You know, I got Ole Miss at 15-1. Would love for them to somehow sneak in, but
I don't know. I'm just kind of
I'm not
part of me
surprised.
wants nothing but chaos today. I want nothing but chaos because I want to see how they manage some of these situations, you know, with the college football playoff and see really where their priorities lie. Because I think, like, I don't know, like if SMU loses, do you punish them for making the conference championship game and then put in a 9-3 Alabama? That's really interesting.
well, I mean, like I guess then it comes back to the point, like
Why
what's
do you
the
play
goal
conference
here?
champions at that point?
Like, but then like it comes back to which team is better.
right.
You know what I mean? Like if you guys had to rank SMU, let's go SMU, South Carolina, Alabama, Ole Miss. How would you rank them?
At the current time,
Like,
I would
right
say
now.
on top. I would go
South Carolina on top.
Alabama, Ole Miss, SMU. But I
Yeah.
don't think that's a way you should determine who gets into a playoff.
I think it should be the best teams. Like
I mean, you could argue that, but like I think it would be bullshit, and that you shouldn't even play conference championship games if you like SMU is getting punished for making the conference championship game at that point.
I mean, I think we all realize this is all for TV, so that standalone Friday game is probably going to be Alabama and Notre Dame.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Which Notre Dame has to just be fucking beside themselves about playing Alabama because it's like whenever they meet in bowls, they just get obliterated by
At least then it
Alabama.
would be a home game.
That's true. That's true. And it would be cold. I don't know.
It would be very cold.
It'd be very cold.
I
don't know.
I am excited for this. I'm excited for like Penn State or Ohio State or Notre Dame to get like home games for playoff games.
yeah,
I think it's interesting because I think that the system has managed to make regular season games so important. Like all these regular season games, even for the G5s, have been like important. And now we get to a conference championship weekend, and we have these games that mean absolutely nothing at this point.
I
It's
say get rid
so
of conference championship
counterintuitive.
games. I say get rid of do it how the Big 12 used to do it, where it's just at the regular season you have a conference winner, and you don't need like I'm with Eric. I don't think conference champions should get like benefit of the doubt and get these automatic buys. I think it should just be by ranking.
Right. It
And
gets
then we
messy
wouldn't have
though.
to worry about Clemson being in the fucking thing at all.
Yeah. Won't have to worry about old Dabo politicking.
I love Lane politicking, dude. He's on X. He's like,
Did you see Bert? Did you see Brett Bielema
Uh-uh.
on the lane?
like, dude, you went to overtime with fucking Purdue, dude. Just
Yeah, but they have. Hey, if you're talking about strength of schedule and losses, Illinois has better losses than Ole Miss does.
yeah.
Think about it.
I mean, I'm just saying this, dude. Like, what's going to happen, and this is going to be the change, is one of those, like, what's the bracket look like right now? Like, as soon as, so right now, how it's set up, like, right now, I'm looking at it on NCAA.com. That
So we got
second round, let's just say it, we'll go with seeding. Penn State is going to demolish Boise State. And then Alabama and Notre Dame will probably demolish SMU. And then that's going to totally change the way stuff is going to be done. They're going to that's going to be the breaking point. Even if it's just Boise State that gets demolished.
I
with
mean,
that
maybe,
bye.
but we've seen like just blowouts in every playoff so far. Like every single playoff we've had has had blowouts, even with the 14.
Did I ever tell you guys how I went to the Michigan State Alabama game?
No.
So there was this huge fucking snowstorm. I was so pumped to go. Got tickets with my ties to Michigan State. I was just stranded at the airport. Finally got to fucking Dallas. Get there. Game had already started. Luggage nowhere to be found. I just said, fuck it. I get in a cab to the stadium. It's already the first quarter, and Michigan State's down 28-0. It was hell on fucking earth. Couldn't get my luggage. Fucking took forever to get back because there's this huge snow. It was brutal, dude.
Also, I'm looking at this right now. I don't know if Penn State necessarily like wins out against Arizona State or Iowa State, whoever would be there.
Dude, Penn State's defense is elite, dude.
They are, but
They are elite, dude.
if it's Iowa State's gonna muck that up. I don't care.
The Fighting Matt Campbells.
I have a future on Tennessee. I'm just rooting for them just for that purpose. That'll do it, folks. That'll do it for this episode of the College Football Tailgate Big Show. Go enjoy yourself. Have a great time this Saturday. This is like one of the last full slates that we get. So bye-bye, everyone. Toodaloo and kisses. Mwah. Mwah.